We're running fast. Still to come, your chance to get registered to come in studio to compete for a Panasonic portable DVD player. That's if you can answer a question from last night's episode of The X-Files.
I've actually think I've caught more Fez-atorials than I have X-Files. All right, let's play that then, Fez. Let's get that started.
All right.
Call in if you're an X-Files fan, 877-692-1027. You'll pick up a big-ass prize pack and your chance to come in and play that X-Files trivia show.
That's right. There are only 2 final episodes of The X-Files left. That's beginning this coming Sunday at 9 o'clock on Fox 5. So every week, every Monday, we'll ask you a question from the previous Sunday's episode. And anyone that qualifies gets to come in studio doing X-Files big-ass game show to compete for that Panasonic portable DVD player.
Now, did you catch this X-Files?
No, I did not see this one. All right, here's the question. One of Scully's FBI students displays an ability to profile serial killers in last night's episode. Wow, and his insights reopen the murder case of Doggett's son. Is that correct, Doggett?
Yes, it is.
What does the student have hanging all over his bedroom walls?
All right, here is Tracy.
Hi.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, how are you?
Do you know the answer to that question from last night's X-Files episode?
Yes, I do. He actually had pictures of murder victims from past cases that he was profiling.
All right, Rory?
Yes, that is correct.
There's a winning cowbell.
Why are these questions so damn easy? It's the second week in a row that people called up and said it's too. The first caller got it, and I got emails that say last week's question was too easy.
Yeah, they said last week's question was so easy, all you had to do was watch the commercial, not even the episode.
We need to make these tougher because when you come in to win that Panasonic portable DVD player, it's going to be tough X-Files questions.
From the entire run of the X-Files.
Right.
Not just from last night's episode.
Fezzy, here's our buddy Travis Bickle, who we haven't talked to since the night he took Tuttle all around New York to the worst neighborhoods.
Oh, whirlwind tour, the Bronx, East New York, all over the place.
Hey, Travis, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, buddy.
I just want to let you know that I got the mobile ready and all ready for Al's big date on Thursday night.
Oh, so you would be willing to drive Al around town?
Absolutely. Dinner, dancing, they can paint the town red.
See, Travis Bickle is always there for us.
And we appreciate that, Travis.
All right, that's great stuff. I'll have Rory talk to you, okay?
Absolutely.
Just don't believe anything he says about pot. He makes stuff up.
No problem. See ya.
All right, see ya.
He's a liar at that point.
Maybe Al gets a little extra stuff out of this, a little extra tour.
Now, speaking of big dates coming up, Ronnie.
Yeah.
May 31st is one lucky guy's prom night.
Yeah.
And it's Sheepy, Sheep Lover, and we got him a prom date with Crazy Claire. We made sure he got all the money for his prom and everything. And Advanced Formal at Sunrise Highway in Rockville Center, Long Island. They're actually providing the tuxedo for him.
All right, so what we're going to do either this week or next week is they bring in different tuxes, and then Sheepy tries them on.
That's right. So what we needed to do is get Sheepy's measurements for Advanced Formal so he knows what to bring in.
Now, Sheepy is a big kid. For being in high school, I can't believe how tall he is.
Yes, he's very big.
How tall is he? Does anybody know? That's the only problem, though, in these formal companies, right? They got everything.
Yeah, they got everything.
Yeah. And then also, don't the pants kind of, you can expand them or bring them in for really...
Yeah, they got those things on the side of them, those adjustables.
Yeah.
Or whatever you call them. So Sheepy is all set to come in. He's measured, Advanced Formal, and Rockville Center has his measurements, and we'll be able to do some fittings.
That'll be fun. And that way, I want him to get an all-black tux.
I still think all white with tails.
What we should do is just get him something for the Marines and actually put him in. Put him in, and that'll be the exciting thing at the end of the prom. He goes straight to the Marine Corps.
We just enlist him. It really would be the best thing for him.
That'll be fun.
Toughen him up. Now, speaking of the war that's going on, let me ask this, because I guess I'm just out of touch with world affairs. When did Osama bin Laden change his name?
What is he now, Biff Bin Laden?
No, now I see it on television. I've seen it twice now where he's Osama Bin Laden.
See, I hate when news people do that.
Where did this come from? Now they're spelling Osama with a U instead of an O.
They did the same thing with Uranus, and I'm not playing that game. I'm not going to say Uranus after all those years.
Right. I remember they used to do it with Gaddafi. They spelled Gaddafi 10 different ways.
But they always called him Gaddafi. They never called him Gaddafi or whatever.
So now this is Osama, I guess.
Now, were we always pronouncing it wrong?
Well, I remember during the Persian Gulf War that, remember President George Bush, the first one, would say Saddam.
Right, but that never caught on. That never caught on. That was like President Kennedy used to say Cuba, and nobody else would do it.
Right. So I don't know why. I didn't even know we changed it. Now, if I look up at the TV news and they're talking about Osama, they're spelling it with a U instead of an O.
You're kidding.
No, they've changed the spelling on it. And I thought, is this a different guy? No, that's him. That's the same dick we've always seen.
What was this on, CNN?
I saw it on Fox News.
All right. Tomorrow, somebody check that out, okay, Roy? Because I don't want games being played there. I'm not changing the way I say the guy's name. Now, Fez, I was heading over to Central Park and went past the pro-Israel parade that went up Fifth Avenue the other day.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I guess it was called the Tribute to Israel, and Mayor Bloomberg was there. And, you know, you expect it to kind of be like the St. Patty's Day parade or the Puerto Rican Day parade, where it's just like a lot of partying and people waving and stuff. I thought the people, and I was very shocked by this, I guess because I don't have that exact connection to Israel that the Jewish Americans do. It was fairly militant. By going by the signs and just the feeling there, those people are fired up.
Yeah, protest. Both sides of the street, both sides of the parade. I mean, blocks, I guess.
Yeah, but you could say one thing, but I mean, there was a hell of a lot more Jewish people. I thought the counter protest was fairly small, but the amount of Jewish folks out there, putting victors, not victim signs and stuff like that all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing people from this country going over there, by the way it felt. Going to Israel to fight. Like, remember, like, before World War II, we had a lot of Americans who went and fought, like, with the Royal Air Force and stuff like that.
Sure, all right.
I had the feeling that there was a lot of Americans feeling that way about what's going on in Israel today.
Strong feelings all coming out at that parade, that's for sure.
It wasn't like a happy day parade like I thought it was going to be. Normally, I like to hop in everybody's celebration.
Sure. Puerto Rican Day.
Yeah.
You get, the super soakers out there.
Yeah, you get a chance to
the mango on a stick, that's what I like.
You do a little grab ass. Now, there was people happy, and having a good time. But there was just as many people with some fairly militant sayings, and the feeling, it had the feel to me of like a pro-war parade. Maybe I'm totally wrong there.
Scary.
Yeah, well, it's scary.
Like being in one of those countries.
It's scary times. We actually are in one of the countries that have been attacked. It's just that somehow people in this country have managed to forget that.
I meant like one of the countries, either Israel or Palestine.
Well, right. I mean, we are in one of the countries that have been attacked. You'd think that would have been the pro-American stuff.
877-692-1027.
You'd think people in this city would have been feeling the same way, like, let's go get them, or people in this country would have been feeling the same way. But I don't know, Fess. You didn't make it over for the parade, right?
No, I didn't see any of it going on.
Here's Yanni. Yanni, you're on Runafest.
Hey, Yanni.
Yeah, I was going to go and help out Israel with the whole...
Yeah, hi, Joe. Hi, Joe.
Joe who?
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Right.
Joe Poo. Mm-hmm.
Yanni.
Yeah. Can we get done with this? Because we're actually having a serious conversation now. You want to do your little saying?
I just want to go help the war effort.
Yeah, do your little saying so I can move on, okay, Joe?
Yanni Fabinka?
Come on, seriously. Do your little saying.
What thing?
Then we can move on.
He's an ass. That means he's not coming back by trying to keep me going. Hey, Ben, you're on Runafest.
Hey,
Ben.
Yeah. Yesterday, I marched in the Israeli Day Parade. I'm pro-Israel. I'm Jewish.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and usually, this year, you saw a lot of what you call pro-Arab, anti-Israel. Usually, it's about a corner. This time, it was between about 58th and, 60th. There was, 2 full block, but still there was a lot more Israelis.
Here was the weird thing. I came in to cross that at about 61st, 62nd Street. So it was right on the other side of that. So I got a lot of the really pro-Israel people being like fever pitched, right? And I'm just heading to Central Park with my kids.
Sure, you're just looking for a Sunday.
And I'm walking through this, and I'm like, what the hell was going on?
What time did you get there, though?
I don't know. It was like about 1 o'clock.
No, well, I marched at about 12, and it wasn't a lot of people yet. Usually the prime time is around like 3 o'clock.
Right. But I'm saying it wasn't like a happy parade route.
No, it's like a solidarity march.
Right,
like,
exactly.
A few weeks ago in Washington.
Now,
big solidarity run.
Now, how is that parade normally? Is it that fever pitched or?
It's a little bit more relaxed. Since this year the violence is at the highest point ever. You know, people are more serious. Usually it's just celebrating Israel, but
right.
This year it's more peace than it is fighting.
Now, what was a lot of the things say? I'll go. Were they meaning they would go fight or just go visit Israel? I care and I go or something like that.
Some people say they'll go and they'll serve in the army.
That's what I was seeing those signs, Fez. And I mean, I saw tons of them.
Yeah, and some people say, I'll go to support Israel.
Right.
You know, when I spend my money there, supporting Israel. So, you know, either way, people said, I don't care what I do as long as I support Israel.
All right, Ben, what about you? How old are you?
I'm 16.
All right, so you're a young man. What are you feeling right now about Israel?
I feel that, Israel's been, put under a lot of pressure since, 48. Before Israel received the state of Israel, what happened was the British Mandate, which was,
Yeah, I don't want a history lesson. I just want your own personal thing, Ben.
All right, I feel that.
Would you go if you had to in a couple of years? Would you feel like you would go if this war
Definitely. I went already. I'm going to definitely go again.
All right, thank you very much, Ben.
All right.
Thanks for the call, Ben.
Here's Tom. Tom, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, buddy.
I was just thinking, the reason a lot of these Israeli protests are getting so angry, I mean, look at President Bush. He's kissing the Saudis and the Palestinians' ass. At least it looks to me. And it doesn't really look like he's backing them as much as he should.
Was there any anti-Bush things out there that you saw, Ronnie?
No, not that I saw.
Well, they're not going to probably say it, but I'm thinking that might be part of the reason.
All right, that's possible. All right, thanks.
Yeah.
It was a strange feeling, though, Fezzy. And it had that kind of pre-World War I feel, you know what I mean, where people are talking about foreign countries as if it were here. You know what I'm saying? Right. And we don't feel that all the time in this country because we're just so damn far away from stuff. Darren, you're on Ron and Fez. Hey, Darren.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I was at the parade, and I'm Jewish, and I got the same feeling, man. I thought it was very militant, and it actually reminded me, I mean, if I can go this far out with it, it actually reminded me a little bit of, like, the Hitler Youth. I was watching some of these kids marching, and they were fierce, and these were, like, young 10-year-old kids, They were fierce, and it freaked me out.
All right, Darren, you're saying, all right, now you just watched it, right?
Yeah, I was watching it.
Yeah. And to you, it felt like it was a little scary?
Oh, yeah, man. I thought it was really scary. And, I'm not necessarily anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian, or anti-Palestinian and pro-Israel, but I kind of think that that thing, the bend becomes the bender, where, like the abused child becomes the abuser. And there's a little feeling of that, the Jewish people were prosecuted and persecuted in World War II. And now it just kind of seems to me like it's coming full circle where it's going the other way. I'm looking at them as being the oppressors at this point.
All right, now what part of the parade route were you on?
Where was I? I was on, what was it, Fifth Avenue, I guess it was on?
Yeah, but what street? I mean, were you anywhere part of the Arab anti-Israel thing?
Well, I was actually in both. I watched the parade, away from the demonstrators for probably about an hour and a half, and I was hanging out and talking to people. And then by the end, I went to the anti-demonstrators side, and I wasn't feeling really all that comfortable over there with a lot of the people there, because they were also kind of militant. So I had my own little sign, just kind of saying...
peace in Israel? You're one of those guys? You just want to be the peace guy?
Well, I don't know if it's really about the peace guy. I just wanted to let the people know, the Jewish people know, that their tactics right now are getting kind of scary. And I understand maybe they're under attack, but they're dealing with an oppressed people that have been oppressed for a long time.
See, I don't know that whole thing because anytime you get into the Middle East, Fezzi, it just seems confusing. Like they're never going to get to the end of this. What kind of surprised me is because, you know, of all the Jewish people we know, I've never been around that kind of pro-Israel. It was almost like everybody was just so fired up. And then, when I was going through Central Park, all kinds of cops there in different vans and stuff. It always has that feeling just in case anything gets carried away.
Oh, yeah, you see it a few blocks away, and they're ready to just make a perimeter.
Which happens no matter what group happens to be protesting. But this did kind of remind you of maybe like a 1960s thing, or even to go back further, like we were talking about, like a pre-World War I, pre-World War II thing. There was a very, very strange feeling there. It was a very weird feeling in the air. 877.
I agree, man. I agree. And like I said before, I thought it was kind of scary to watch young kids kind of falling into this kind of, like I saw Ariel, Sharon signs, like we love Sharon. I mean, I think Sharon's as crazy as Arafat is.
All right, but you have to say this, Darren. You know that if you were a Jewish kid in this country, and Fez and I have a lot of Jewish friends, and you've heard about the Holocaust and stuff your whole life, and you heard about, people saying never again, never again. You know that this would fire you up if you're a young man, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But I think at the same time, you could be taking that kind of thing, never again, maybe a step too far.
All right, let me ask you this. As a Jewish American, when you talk to your friends, they disagree with you or agree with you?
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm pretty alone these days on this. And I try to kind of stay away because I've been getting into a lot of fights verbally, and I don't really see the point. So I'm kind of keeping to myself a little bit at this point.
All right, thanks a lot, Darren.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for the call, Darren.
All right, 877-692-1027. Hey, Reggie, you're on the Ron and Fez show. Hi, Reggie.
That's a great show. I just have a couple of comments. Number one, about your comparison with the Israeli Day Parade, with the Puerto Rican Day Parade or the Irish Parade. I mean, there's not much going on in Puerto Rico or Ireland that, there's anything to be fired up about.
Right, I understand that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying,
generally, the Israeli Day Parade is pretty funky, but, there's issues going on, so that's probably...
So, you were there, Reggie? I'm sorry, I'm losing you, buddy.
Reggie, your phone's breaking out.
I wasn't there.
Okay.
I'm just curious about the comparison. And the other guy's comparison, the previous call about that it's looking like the Hitler Youth or stuff. I mean, that's ridiculous, that comparison.
All right, thank you very much, Reggie. Yeah, I mean, for him to say that, Hitler Youth, that's almost a
bad metaphor.
Yeah, especially with these people. You know what I'm saying, Fezzi?
Sure.
We're on the other side of the Hitler Youth.
Now, that Jewish Girl Scout who wanted to organize a group, it's the regular Girl Scout troop. The young lady was Jewish. She wanted to put together a troop to march in the parade. The Girl Scouts told her no. Then they changed that back. They got to lead the parade.
They got to lead the parade on Sunday.
Yeah.
All right,
so Salute to Israel parade.
So it was a Girl Scout troop made up of
Jewish Girl Scouts.
So normally they're not allowed to be all Jewish Girl Scouts?
The Girl Scouts told this lady she's not allowed to march in it.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be allowed. But then they changed their mind after she was going to do it anyway.
Hey, Greg, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah, hi, how are you? I just wanted to say everybody should just remember who was dancing in the streets when we got attacked on 9/11 and when Saddam Hussein was fighting our forces in the Gulf War. The Palestinians were always on the side of the enemy.
Yeah. I know one thing. I mean, if you really start to say stuff, Fezzi, of like, who's always on the United States side? Who always comes to our side? It seems like it's England, Israel, and this kind of cute Canada.
Oh, yeah,
and
who
you can't,
likes to tag along.
Right, and that
reminds Big Brother England.
It reminds you of some kind of gang movie, and always little kid Pee-wee wants to come out. Come on, fellas, I want to fight with the Jets, and you have to scare him away. Ivan, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ivan.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Buddy.
How you doing?
We're okay.
Good, buddy.
Good. Listen, I used to live in Borough Park, and one time there was a sheriff trying to take one of the guy's cars away while he was still in it because he owed a lot of tickets. And I don't know if you remember, but a big kind of riot ensued, and there was a whole bunch of people. Let me tell you something. When a bunch of people get together, whether they're religious or whether they're anything,
There's a mob mentality, man. They were ready to tear this Puerto Rican kid apart. He was like the minority at that point. Mm-hmm. And it was really amazing to say. It has nothing to do with being Jewish or Puerto Rican. You get a whole bunch of people together and anger, and anything could happen, you know?
I do agree with that. And there was that. I mean, nothing actually went wrong. But, all right, thanks a lot, Ivan. Just for me, walking up with my family. And, you know, here's the thing, folks. Lots of families there. You know, little kids, the parents, grandparents, and all that. But you know how it is in New York, when normally you say, hey, it's somebody's day, it's always fun. Here I kind of even felt a little bit like an outsider myself. I was like, okay, let's just make our way through.
There, and the parade mentality, really out the window, the carnival mentality.
Oh, yeah.
What a parade usually is.
It felt more like a military parade. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying who's right or wrong. None of these people treated anybody wrongly as far as I know. I'm just saying there was this whole feeling brewing, and it's going on right now, whether you're aware of it or not, that this feeling is in New York. It's not overseas. Here's Carlos. Carlos, you're on Line of Fence.
Hey, Carlos.
Yeah, buddy.
Love the show.
Yes, it's a great show. It really is.
These people should get over it, man. It's 2002. They should be fine and go piece of land.
It's 2002, Fez. You get over it.
Oh, okay.
Actually, we've been telling those people since about 2. But since like 02, get over it. They always fight over this piece of land.
And it's been nonstop.
Fez, do you think that any land can actually be holy?
Holy land?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it has I really believe in Holy Land.
But have you ever felt the need to go to Bethlehem because Jesus was born there? I mean, I don't.
No, I don't feel drawn to any sort of Holy Land.
Yeah. I sure don't either. Hey, David. David, you're around the Fez.
Hey, David.
Buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Good topic. Kind of weird to hear from you guys, but ironically, I was in the 60s the other day, too, and it was really militant because I guess both sides, that was a strong place for them.
Yeah, I guess so.
And, and it was like a really bad vibe like that other guy was saying, but, you know, he wasn't really too far off. I know I'm not like Nazi youth, but I mean, hatred is still hatred. And that's kind of the feeling it was. I mean, these young kids, I mean, they hate each other. And even the ones who live in Israel and Palestine over there, whatever the deal is, they interview young kids, and both sides, they just hate Jews and hate,
well, when you look over at some of those Palestinian soldiers, you see them like 11 years old with guns, 12 years old with guns. They start very, very early in that part of the world. And, you know, we're away from all that. So, David, you felt the same way as me being at the parade, right?
No doubt about it.
I picked up the vibe. Me and my family, like a half a block away as we're walking up. And we're like, you know, because we were coming across with people, you know, we're looking around and everybody had signs and stuff coming off the subway. And it's always a good feeling when you catch your parade in town.
What's the best?
And there was no balloons or anything.
No, there was no balloons. It was, and there was, you know, and a lot of it was all, you know, pro-American. It's not like I was in any danger or whatever, but I surely wasn't, you know, swept up with the feeling that was going on there. I'm pretty ignorant to the whole thing.
Well, that's the weird feeling when you're not at the same emotional level as 100,000 people in a parade and 200,000 people watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
But you know what? When you think about it, I didn't even know there was a parade. It was just very weird. But, you know, everybody's got skeletons. I mean, the Irish, I mean, look at Northern Ireland. You know, so, you know, it doesn't even matter. Parades are supposed to be cool, but I don't know. I mean, if it was if it was a rally, that's great too, because look, you guys are talking about it on the radio now.
Yeah.
Probably half the people didn't even know. So you guys are doing a good job.
All right, thanks a lot, David. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Ron Fez.